Thunderbird here, and we have located the rare nighttime bluefin nest. It's amazing. Look at nature at its finest. Now, we finally can tell you scientifically where bluefin come from. Nighttime bluefin nest. Man, I am so excited. I can't wait to see this thing hatch. Man, I'm gonna put it in the oven and see what we get. I can't wait. It's gonna be a monster. Yeah.
Nice. Yes. Say hello to the camera, girl. Woo! Get some.
The fish are biting, the weather is great, and the El Patron is waiting for you with a day-and-a-half trip scheduled Wednesday night, and they still have room. You better hurry up and call 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. It's 310-832-8304. Get on the El Patron while the fishing's hot and the weather is great.
Make a confession to you all, and this is not a political thing. I don't get into politics here, but I am a man that appreciates fine art. And I've angered my wife, and I've angered many of my friends, and I just want to apologize, but I had to do it. And I spent probably more money than I should have, and I have some regrets about it, but not that much. I purchased a Hunter Biden beautiful portrait. I'm a big Three Stooges fan, and when I saw this, it spoke to me. I wondered why Mo was poking Larry in the eyes. What could Larry have done that was so bad? And why was Mo so mean? All of these things were conjured up in my heart and soul. When I saw this, I had to buy it. So I apologize if that offended any of you. And I think with that painting, I can live my life in fulfillment and gaze at it every single morning for inspiration. Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. Here in Southern California, we are sandwiched between the cities of Seal Beach and Huntington Beach, and it is absolutely gorgeous. There's no wind at all. It's sunrise. It's a beautifully colored sky, and the ocean looks to be really flat, calm, and all kinds of seashells washed up here, so you can see the birds rummaging through all kinds of stuff there behind me. Hey, hit that like button, please. We really appreciate when you share our videos. Tick the bell. You'll be notified when there is new content. And of course, leave a comment down below. We love it when you do that. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You can catch us there every single day. Don't forget, on October the 20th, we have a 5-day trip on board the Independence out of Point Loma Sportfishing. That is going to be spectacular. I'll be there shooting a video. You should be there also. IndependenceSportFishing.com to sign up right now. Ventura Harbor Sport Fishing, 805-676-3474. Make sure you join the great folks at Ventura Harbor Sport Fishing. And also, don't forget, if you're going lobster hooping and you need to gear up, Freedman Adventures can save you 10%. Just go to the Promar Ahi website and at checkout, enter Freedman10 for a 10% discount. All right, so much going on. My God, there is some great fishing, not only in terms of the sheer quantity of bluefin tuna right now, but the quality is through the roof. I mean, we see fish near 300 pounds, a lot of 50 to 100 pound stuff. It has been phenomenal, and it doesn't seem to want to slow down. And now, with this great weather scenario, we're not going to have much wind at all offshore for a few days. It's going to get beautiful, and it should be great. And I'm looking ahead to our Wednesday night departure on board the Amigo out of 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. Make sure, if you're on that trip, you're bringing the kitchen sink. That is, if you have it. So I'm talking some 25-pound, but a lot of fish now being taken on 50-pound fly line baits. It is phenomenal, and they're big. While there's that 20 to 40-pound stuff, there's a lot of 50 to 100-plus pound bluefin tuna running around. So make sure you're geared up properly at night. 300 to 400 gram jigs. The other night, when Jacob Barclay ran the Pegasus, he said something with red in it. I don't know what it is, Phil, but it was something with red that made all the difference in the world. He said 80+% of their fish had a jig with red in it. And Sam last night, Sam De La Torre, over at Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California. Of course, we did Tackle Shop Confessions live. Well over 1,000 views. Thanks for joining us last night. Really appreciate that. My friends, Sam was saying it's probably because everybody was fishing with a red jig. And I don't know if that was the case or not. And it changes from day to day. But the other night, it was something with red in it. Let's jump you across the border to the Ensenada area. Offshore there, there's still some yellowfin tuna, still some Dorado. Not a whole lot, but there's some of that running around. There's some yellows on the kelps, a little bit of Dorado, as I said. But bluefin and yellowfin still around. You got to get out of that off-color water. When you do, and it's warm, you can have a good shot at catching some tuna, mostly bluefin right now, but a little bit of yellowfin and Dorado. That's really kind of gone downhill on us. Is that over? I don't think so. There seems to be a steady flow pushing up the Baja coast. I think we're in between waves of those fish in this El Nino year, so we'll hang on and see where it goes from here, watching that very closely on the inshore area. And I'm also talking about Todos Santos Island off of Ensenada. There's some good bonita fishing. There's a few yellowtail, good calico bass fishing there in the rugged, beautiful, pristine Baja coast around Punta Banda. There's also a little bit of barracuda and sand bass around University Point. That whole Ensenada area is still very lively on the local scene. And if all else fails, you have those colorful and beautiful and wonderful eating rockfish to fill up the sacks down there in Ensenada. You can jump on board any number of great operations down there. Mara's Sport Fishing, Blackfin Sport Fishing, Arnie's Sport Fishing. Those are just a few of the really good operations down in Ensenada. Make sure you say hi to all my amigos south of the border. We get you up into the San Diego area, and if you are on a day trip or better, day trip, of course, you're not going to be fishing at night. Sometimes you will, actually. The fish are so close. Many times you'll get a night bite, so you can get limited out at night. But overnight trips to multi-day trips, it's just flat as good as it gets. It's limits of bluefin tuna for the most part. There were some misses, but for the most part, it's full speed. And if you're fishing at night, and be prepared to do that on an overnight trip, sometimes this stuff moves around. We'll have to see where it ends up. There's a good jag of fish at San Clemente. There's a good jag of fish also off Del Mar. There's fish in the Channel Islands. There's fish off Newport Beach. It's everywhere right now. So if you're fishing at night, don't fish anything less than 100-pound spectra. I like 200-pound leaders, 300 to 400 gram jigs, but some nights I've even seen the lighter jigs, like 250s, working pretty well. And so really fantastic nighttime fishing right now. It is absolutely full speed. As I said, on board the Pegasus the other night, half their fish were like 30 to 40 pounds, half their fish were 50 to 80 pounds, and that is some awfully good fishing. Some of the boats that had limits or near limits, Aztec, really good 50-pound fly line fishing, they said. Man, you get a good hot bait on the 50-pound fluorocarbon. www.opsonusa.com. Put in FA at checkout for a free gift, and you got a bite, 50-pound. I would still bring the 25 because you get in those long drifts where those fish are really finicky, and sometimes you'll have to drop it down. But if it's big fish that's boiling around you, you just don't want to get into a prolonged battle on 25 if you can avoid it, because the longer you're on them, the longer you're on those fish, the more that can go wrong. And ultimately and inevitably, it seems to happen. Cortez, Highliner, Tribute just missed on limits. Liberty, Islander, Tomahawk, New Loan, Poseidon just missed on limits. All those other guys, 2 fish limits of bluefin tuna per angler per day, and it can't get any better than it is right now. And we kind of foresaw this. We were looking at the scenario for quite some time before we got into late summer and now moving into fall, and it just looked like this is the kind of season we were going to have. And I don't think it's over by a long shot. I think there'll be more yellowfin and Dorado that move in. This bluefin is not going anywhere. This voluminous, copious amounts of bluefin tuna They just seem to be everywhere right now. And as I mentioned, the Aloha Spirit out there out of Cisco Sport Fishing in Oxnard, they're out looking for bluefin tuna. They haven't had huge scores up there, but they've been seeing a lot of fish. And if that light switch were to go on, somebody's going to put some big numbers on the board, whether it's Tucker McCombs on the Endeavor or the Aloha Spirit today. Look out, my friends. That looks like it's ready to blow up. And we don't even mention, and we should more often, all the private boater success that's going on. The guys that are so close to home, catching these 100+ pound bluefin tuna. It has been absolutely magnificent. Matthew Lee is one of those private boaters, and he says, man, are we blessed or what? We call 20 to 40 pound bluefin tuna little ones now, and he's so right about that. Matthew, I couldn't concur more with you, man. There is so many big fish that are providing such great angling opportunities to so many people setting their personal bests on a daily basis, catching their first bluefin tuna. Southern California is the hub of greatest sport fishing going on, maybe in the world right now. It is that good. It is that special. Sam De La Torre last night said the last 10 years perhaps have been the best years of sport fishing in the history of Southern California, and he could be right on. I mean, we used to think back to the days of Zane Grey at Catalina Island in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and think, man, wouldn't that have been something to have been alive when they were catching giant bluefin tuna off Catalina Island. And now here we are living the dream. It is pretty darn incredible. Really great fishing going on. And also, I want to mention that LA Orange County based boats out of Dana Wharf, all these guys are getting a shot at this fish. Mostly the overnight boats are getting, but the Triton yesterday out of LA Harbor Sport Fishing, they just missed on limits of the bluefin tuna. Some other guys had it much slower. The Freelance looked at a lot of fish yesterday. They've had some recent really good days here, but yesterday it was all teasing. Patriot had 7 bluefin tuna yesterday. The Blackfish, a yacht, had a little pop on the bluefin and a few yellowfin tuna to go along with that out of Davies Locker. So there is plenty of fish around. Sometimes they bite, sometimes they don't. Now, the boats that leave in the morning and fish into the same evening out of San Diego, they've had some spectacular fishing, but yesterday was not one of those days. It was very tough on those boys. Seen a lot of fish, but very finicky in the daytime. The better bite seems to be at night right now. But the Malahini, the Mission Bell, the Sea Watch, all had tough fishing. San Diego, tough fishing. I think the San Diego did best of all those boys with 11 bluefin tuna for 34 anglers. They'll get back on it. It'll start biting again. And they've had some extremely great hits here recently. So we'll keep watching that very closely. And those kind of bites, though, that's where that 25-pound fluoro comes in really handy. Choosing a good hot bait, changing that bait regularly, it all really helps you to catch more fish. So keep that in mind and work hard when you're on deck and be observant. Watch everybody around you, see what they're doing. If you do that, you've got a much better chance of making things happen, no question about it. And again, boats are out again today. We have a lot less boat pressure going on here this morning than we've had previously. So maybe some of these local boys will get some pops in here this morning. We are watching that one very, very closely for you all. On our island scene, to be perfectly candid with you, not a lot of island fishing going on because there's so much great offshore fishing going on. So down there at the Coronado Islands, a few yellows, calico bass, Clemente, good calico bass fishing, a few yellowtail, Catalina, a little bit of calico bass, an occasional yellowtail, good rockfish, some tuna around there. That could go at any point in time. Channel Islands, fantastic rock fishing and some darn good bass fishing. Also, in fact, on board the Coral Sea up there out of Santa Barbara, limits of nice fat calico bass, limits of big rockfish, including some beautiful chili peppers and boscos. Really excellent fishing up there out of Santa Barbara. And also the Channel Island areas, Ventura, Cisco's, all those boys. Tremendous rock fishing up there, but a chance at bluefin and also some coastal bass. Island Spirit, Cody Rogers out of Ventura. He's out there on a regular basis trying to make that happen. Don't forget the California, the old Matt Walsh runs out of Ventura Harbor Sport Fishing. Kids go free on Sundays with a paid adult. Kids 12 and under are free on the California. You're going to love the customer service on all of those rigs. It is really fantastic. Our local situation, lots of calico bass down there in San Diego. A lot of shorts, but good action. Occasional white sea bass, occasional yellowtail down there. Great rock fishing in the deep water if you're going to do that oceanside. Dana Wharf, same kind of a thing. Some really good bass fishing, a lot of shorts, but some occasional halibut, occasional yellowtail, and also we see plenty of rockfish up here in the LA Orange County area. I'm talking Long Beach and surrounding areas, San Pedro, you know, all the boys up here in this neck of the woods starting to pick at a few more bass, really good deep water rockfish, and most of these guys, if they want to, can get a shot at the tuna. Also really good sheep's head and really good whitefish for some of the guys up there in Redondo. Some decent bass fishing. We mentioned Nick Ramirez on our show on the Spitfire the other day. That limits of sculpin, limits of bass on the Spitfire out of Marina Del Rey. And we mentioned already up there in the Channel Islands, they're catching some pretty good bass locally up there and some rockfish to go along with it. Good surf fishing if you can find the clean water. I'll tell you right now, it is quite good for yellowfin croaker, chrome crocodile lure. I love to fish with a chrome crocodile, like a 3/4 ounce. You want to fish like 2 hours before the high till 2 hours after for yellowfin croaker. Spotfin croaker will bite if you can make a long enough cast in the low tide, and you can catch corvina as well as catch halibut on the low tide. Corvina, man, that is a finesse kind of fishing with real light line, 6 pound, dig up a sand crab, fish a sandworm, or go by your surf fishing headquarters in Seal Beach, California. Surf fishing headquarters for Southern California is, of course, Big Fish Bait and Tackle. They have a vast array of bait for you and all the tackle you'll need to be successful. They're located right where there is some great surf fishing and piers that you can fish. Don't forget, Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach. Some really good surf fishing action going on right now. It's gorgeous, my friends. It's absolutely beautiful. Don't forget to hit that like button, share these videos, visit us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Don't miss my new channel if you want to get out and do some walking, if you want to feel better, if you want to lose some weight, if you want to, you know, just make your life improve. Or as I like to say, or as somebody said, and I swiped it, we're going to try to put more life in your years instead of more years in your life. It really is great. Go to Walk with Phil on YouTube, Walk with Phil, and subscribe today. All right, my friends, have a great one. We'll see you on the Independence. Don't forget, October 20th, going to be a great 5-day trip, IndependenceSportFishing.com. And man, I hope you get out and experience this. It's gorgeous. Have a great day, and I hope to see you really, really soon.